Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's Larry here. It's been a while. So today I want to dive into the album Quadrophenia by The Who, which was released in 1973 and then later made into a movie in 1979. So it's really considered a rock opera, a concept album by The Who, which is pretty early when you think about it because a lot of concept albums came later and I would love to be able to remember them all. Supertramp, Crime of the Century, Pink Floyd, Animals. The list goes on. And but really, the Who were real trailblazers because they came in early with this concept album. And if memory serves me correct, it all focuses on a character by the name of Jimmy, who really struggles with his identity and suffers from schizophrenia, has multiple personalities, trying to navigate through the culture of the 60s as a mod. So there's the mods and the rockers. And so essentially, this really takes a look at his life and all the sort of struggles. The very first song on the album, which is called The Real Me. And if I remember correctly, it's been a while. The punchiness of that song is pretty outstanding. So the bass, the drums, and so on and so forth, with quite a bit of emotive vocals from Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend. So let's give it a listen with The Real Me. Nasty bass playing, drumming.
Can you see the real me, mama? Mama, can you see the real me, mama? Whoa, mama.
Oh yeah, rock out, baby.
Can you see? Can you see the real me? Can you see? Can you see the real me? The real me, the real me. The cracks between the paving stones, like rivers of flowing veins. Strange people who know me, looking from behind every window pane. The girl I used to love lives in this yellow house. Yesterday she passed me by, she doesn't wanna know me now. Can you see the real me? Can you? Can you see the real me? Can you? Whoa, yeah! I ended up with a preacher full of lies and hate. I seemed to scare him a little, so he showed me to the golden gate. Can you see the real me, preacher? Preacher! Can you see the real me, preacher? Can you see? Can you see? Can you see?
Some synthesizer there. I think it's Pete Townsend playing there. The sound effect on purpose, I'm sure. My hat's off to Entwistle, most underrated rock and roll bassist of all time. Really quite, I mean, they called him the Spider, I think, because he was all over the fretboard. And particularly in this song, I mean, wow, what juicy riffs. And Keith Moon delivering some tasty drumming. So the rhythm section there was really quite off the charts. And even the kind of urgency and the emotive singing of Roger Daltrey, the guitar riffs by Pete Townsend. I mean, just all of them together, coming together for this amazing song. I mean, it's not the longest song, but it's the right length. You know, it's the right length. It's you know, if you talk about the song and the meaning of it, it's the first song on the album, and furthermore, it's the introduction of the main character of the entire rock opera or concept album, if you will. And you know, this really is just I haven't heard it in a while. And you saw me in my short a week ago introducing the album, the physical album. I still have it, and it was one of those great purchases I made in the mid '80s, you know, and it was really just fantastic. So the real me, I mean, just a quick interpretation. The introduction of Jimmy, the main character, as I said, really going through all the social pressures while suffering with multiple personality disorder or schizophrenia, which, by the way, is tied in with that word quadrophenia. And so he had four distinct personalities that he had to fight through, along with being a mod in the 60s, navigating that whole 1960s time, that era in Britain with the rockers, the mods, and you know, he was just looking for a place to fit in. And the mods are those sort of kind of scooter riding dorks, you know, in some sense. And you know, the rockers were a completely different breed. And so, yeah, you know, just a really cool song. Definitely talking about psychology quite a bit. And when you think about it, you know, you think of the Who as like just smashing out hit after hit since they really got together and started producing albums and songs. And this is rather more nuanced than what you would expect from the Who for that particular era, 1973. So they worked on this album for a long time. And they came out with, you know, obviously some pretty interesting commentary about not only mental disorders, mental disease, and you know, the emotions of young men in the 1960s in that geographic area of the world, Great Britain, London. And the movie came out 6 years later, which is really quite incredible. But listen, enough about the interpretation. Let's move on to rating the song versus all the other songs on the playlist here, which is rather long. We're into 130, 140 songs. So there's no disputing this is an A plus song, 100%. I mean, it's knocking on the door, you know, either direction, I suppose, depending on your point of view. But I thought it was just a terrific song, short, sweet. The musicality really brilliant here, really came together, and the emotions, and you know, I'm a little repetitive at this point, but really the commentary, the storytelling, the musicality, everything coming together. Roger Daltrey, I think one of the best rock voices in history. He and that Ian Gillan, I think his name is, Deep Purple guy, rock and roll voices. You know. Anyway, so look, I truly want to encourage you to leave your comments, all your insights, thoughts, and you know, requests or any other topics you want to talk about musically here in the comments section. And if you would be kind enough to look, I'm not asking for anything. I'm not selling anything on this channel, not yet. So if you would just be kind enough to hit it with a like and perhaps even a share, I would really appreciate that for the channel's health. So with that being said, wherever you are, wherever you're listening to this from, whatever time it is, and whoever you are, I want to wish you a very happy week. And a great upcoming weekend, whenever that is, whenever this video pops out. So I'll see you next time.